So first of all, let me just update you on what's going on with this channel with the Q&As for February. I'm only doing the Twitter Q&A on Wednesday, just one of those per week, and then Friday, I'm still doing that Facebook Friday Q&A. The information on how to get your questions posted, submitted, answered is all in the description box down below, so make sure you check that out. For these Wednesday Q&As on Twitter, I'm going to go back, at least for this month, to the themed Q&As. I want to do that. I think some of you used to like when they were done that way, so we're coming back to them. And the theme for today's Q&A is hashtag Roman Reigns, Mr. Cockfist himself. Outstanding stuff. And I'm sure we've got some hopefully interesting questions here, but we'll see. We'll see. Because I haven't previewed them yet, so I'm just going off of the OTRS Central Twitter feed. Let's get started, though. Sanan Jayas asked, did you listen to Roman Reigns' short interview with Sam Roberts where he comes across as a heel? I heard some of it. I saw some people talking about it. I don't know where he necessarily came across as a heel. Now, maybe when a guy speaks some form of the truth, that comes across in a less than popular way, and that makes it kind of heelish sounding because people don't like to hear the truth, even though they proclaim that they want honesty and they love the truth. You know, I don't see where what Roman said was so heelish. I really, truly don't. In fact, I don't think he said anything that was out of bounds or anything that wasn't true or wasn't accurate in any way. I don't blame him for anything that he says. It's not like he said anything really bad. You know, so I wouldn't think that he came across as a heel at all, frankly. Let's see here. We've got Wiener Pastures asks, how would you book Roman Reigns in this year's WrestleMania? You know, I've talked about it before that the one main event that they had for this show was Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and that you would have Seth Rollins cash in and win the title to close out the show. I still stand by that. That's what I would do. I want to make sure that I make Roman Reigns look as much of a monster as I possibly can, as much of a credible threat to Brock Lesnar as I possibly can, while selling that this guy can dish out an ass-kicking and take an ass-kicking, but that he's not invincible. And I think by having him lose to Lesnar does a lot for him, while not putting him into that Cena category at this time, and will give people a reason to get behind him and engage with him. They're like, shit, they had this guy win the Rumble, but come WrestleMania time, he didn't even beat Brock Lesnar, and especially if Seth Rollins won because maybe Roman Reigns Superman punched freaking Brock Lesnar. You know, and then Rollins cashes in, and there you go. And they sets up the WWE well, allows them to do a lot post-WrestleMania, which is going to be critically important because I'm assuming at this point they're not going to re-sign Brock Lesnar. I just don't see where they could justify that expense going forward. And I just don't see where he's bringing them enough to justify that expense going forward, frankly. But at this point in time, I'm not going to put the belt on Roman Reigns. That's been my call for a while now, and that's the call that I will stick with at this time. BW Rosas, do you think Daniel Bryan is being put in this position to help get Roman Reigns over with the crowd? I think that we need to not be naive about this, Bryan, and understand the reality of the situation is that this is a pathetic attempt at an apology by the WWE to those hardcore fans for this free month of the WWE Network. They want to get as many eyeballs on the product as they possibly can. So they want to do something here where they don't care what the consequences could be. That might be a thought, is that they want to fuck with people and have Roman Reigns go over Daniel Bryan, but do it in a way where Roman Reigns comes out the better for it. You know, like Daniel Bryan raises his hand and da-da-da-da-da. It could just be that the WWE doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. There is a possibility that they could be changing the plans. It's a possibility that they are that stupid. It is a possibility that they are that cowardly, that they do lack balls, they do lack courage. There's a lot of different things. But that is one possibility, that they're putting them there to help get Roman Reigns over with the crowd. But do you really think that that's going to go well? The WWE better know what they're doing, because this could really, really backfire on them. You thought it backfired on them with the Royal Rumble and what they did. Holy Christ almighty. Imagine if you have Roman Reigns beat Daniel Bryan and the crowd's still booing no matter what. I mean, that would be terrible. I mean, to me, if I'm going to do it and I'm going there and this is my whole plan is I want to get Roman Reigns over, then I want to make sure that Daniel Bryan looks really good in this match, because ultimately I want Roman Reigns to look just a little bit better in this match. And even at the end, I'm going to have Daniel Bryan grab the microphone. I'm fucking main eventing this match on this pay-per-view, and I'm even having Daniel Bryan cut a little bit of a promo, kind of a classy type of thing, you know, talking to Roman Reigns about this moment, about this opportunity, and what is before him, and the challenge that he faces, and that he believes in him, and thinks that he can go on to beat the conqueror, the monster that is Brock Lesnar, and that he better not let the people down, and that the people better get along with him. That's what you need to have happen. You need Daniel Bryan to cut that type of promo saying, well, I couldn't get it done. I couldn't beat you. You're ready. You need to go get the job done. You need to do what The Undertaker couldn't do. You need to do what John Cena couldn't fucking do. You know, sell it that way. It could really work that way, and that's the only way, frankly, it could work. Just having Roman Reigns beat Daniel Bryan in a bullshit way, or turning Roman Reigns heel, or doing some other dumb shit isn't going to work. If you're going here, you need to go here the right way, and this is, in my opinion, the only right way to go if they're going this way. Since they did, they got to make sure it works. Let's see here. American a la carte. What will it take for Roman Reigns to be accepted by the ROH, IWC, YWC crowd? You know, I don't know if he'd ever be fully embraced or accepted by that crowd, nor does he really need to. So it doesn't really matter. But to answer your question directly in terms of how to get him accepted, is have him be a guy that does monstrous things. Have him be a guy that does impressive things. But don't have him be a guy that always goes over. Don't have him be John Cena 2.0. Keep some mystery about his character. Keep some intrigue about his character. Don't overexpose his character. Don't have him win too much. You know, put him in situations that spotlight his strengths, mask his deficiencies. Put him in situations where it's designed for him to shine, and allow him to either shine or not shine. But as far as, you know, getting him accepted, maybe getting him close to that opportunity and then not getting the job done might be a way to go. Because I think that type of crowd is a little more accepting of Ryback now, in part because he got that monster push and then it got yanked away from him. And, you know, Ryback's gotten more of that crowd behind him, both the casual mainstream crowd and, frankly, the hardcore audience as well, to a degree. So that could be a formula for Roman Reigns. If you have him go to WrestleMania, but he doesn't win the title because Seth Rollins cashes in, and then he goes after Seth Rollins and he can't get the job done, there's a little bit more of an appeal there, I would think. Let's see here. Mr. Pio 1. Should Roman lose to Lesnar at Mania? Maybe it's needed so people will get behind him more. Again, that's been my idea for a little while. That's what I've thrown out there. I think that's the one option that they have for this WrestleMania 31 main event, and that's the direction that they need to go in. I don't think you can have Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar clean and have that be the end of the show and expect that to be anything good. I really, really don't. But I think the alternative that I proposed, what was it, over a month ago, I think could have the WWE and everybody involved come out smelling like roses and be something that could really appeal to those hardcore fans going forward. So that's my thought on this. I don't think they should have Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar. I really, truly don't. But I think you could do it in a way that would still help his character a lot, get fans to get a little more behind him, get a little more invested and engaged in him, and still launch off something really compelling post-WrestleMania. Let's see here. Stringmaker 4. Why can't fans like him that have never locked up, but you can't critique him if you haven't? Okay, I get what you're saying. So you've never locked up, you've never wrestled, but it's okay to like somebody. But if you criticize somebody or you critique somebody, but you've never locked up, that's a problem. You're absolutely right. And I'll be talking about this very soon in that Truth About Pro Wrestling video series that I'm doing on this channel. I believe it's every Thursday for the month of February. I'm going to talk about the fact that everybody involved with pro wrestling is marks. Our marks. That's both the fans and the people in the business. Everybody's marks. And I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk about something like this. Because you've got a great point. So if you've never done it, you know what's good, so you can praise it. But you most certainly don't know what's bad, so you can't critique it. That makes absolutely no sense. I'm glad you asked that question now, because it applies to Roman Reigns. And it applies in general to the business. If that's the case, and we can't critique because we don't know, we don't understand, we've never done it, okay, then those people that say that can't critique anything that they've never been directly involved with. If you don't like your fucking cell phone, do you know all the technical specs? Did you help put it fucking together? Did you make the decisions for what type of apps and what type of program to run off of it? No. So shut your fucking mouth about it because you don't know. if we're using that philosophy. And then in that case as well, we can't be fans of anybody because we don't know who's good, because we don't know who's great. We don't know who's getting over because we haven't done it ourselves. It is a completely ridiculously ludicrous notion that has been advanced by idiots within the professional wrestling business for years and further perpetuated and advanced by idiots outside of the professional wrestling business. And the crap needs to stop. Mr. Tuxedo asked the last question of part 1 of this Roman Reigns Q&A. On why does Vince insist on scripting Roman Reigns' promos despite being better off without them? Yes. Why does he insist on doing that? As I talked about before, I was almost firmly convinced that Vince McMahon hates Roman Reigns. And I don't know why. To me, the whole key is that whole Paul Heyman philosophy of accentuating strengths and masking or hiding deficiencies. What do you have with Roman Reigns? A big dude with a good look and physique, so to speak, with a couple of really powerful, impactful moves. Has an intensity about him, a look about him that can get over and appeal. But at the same point in time, why are you putting him in situations where he's not good, as in talking or trying to be creative on the microphone? These are not things that Roman Reigns should be doing. This is not something that he has to do. This whole notion that everybody has to talk is completely and totally ridiculous. I think there's even more appeal there if Roman Reigns doesn't talk much, and yet when he does talk, he sits there and says something that's impactful, something that's powerful. And the fact that they consistently put this guy in disadvantageous situations completely blows my ever-loving mind. Why would you sit there and do that to the guy? Where does that make any sense at all? How is that helping that guy get over? Because if anything, you're just exposing him to the audience. Do you really want to expose him to that audience in that way? No, I don't think so. I don't know why he insists on putting him in promo segments, period. If he's not ready for that, then don't do it. If you don't have a way to make it work and make it get over, then again, don't do it. It's just completely ludicrous to me that they would do something like this to Roman, in my opinion. So anyways, that's part 1 of this Roman Reigns Q&A. Part 2 will be up shortly after this one, so make sure you check that out as well. Thanks to you guys that submitted your Roman Reigns questions for this Wednesday #Roman Reigns themed Q&A.